Good afternoon, you are on to NTA Nationwide and thanks for joining us. My name is Femi Johnson. Our report reaching us says the Senate has finally passed the Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, after many years of deliberation. We'll bring you more details in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, the Senate has also reiterated the importance of proper system of governance and good health care as indispensable in making the Nigerian child relevant in the global scheme of things. This followed a motion on the 2017 Children's Day celebration moved by Senator Biodun Olujimi of Ekiti South. She lamented the alarming rate of infant mortality and called for domestication of the Child Rights Acts by states that are yet to do so.
The Senate acknowledges that a proper system of education and good health care are indispensable in making the Nigerian child relevant in the global scheme of things.
Senator Biodun Olujimi from Ekiti South. Still from the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has passed for third reading a bill for an act to provide legal framework for credit reporting, licensing and regulation of credit bureau in Nigeria. Members also passed for second reading a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Labour Act of 2004, which seeks to make provision for a comprehensive minimum labour standards for Nigeria.
In a meeting, a convention between International Labour Organization, a tripartite agreement between the government, the workers, and the employees, there came the need to amend and add democratic values to some of our obsolete labor rules as it affects standardization of labor.
When you make a pronouncement on the issue of labor and you say you want to repeal the labor laws, it has the potential of sending shock waves throughout the country and even beyond.
There are some aspects of the law that we can save by just introducing amendments. So that's just the controversy that we must resolve.
We are not yet done with labour matters as the Nigerian Union of Pensioners has appealed to the federal government to investigate alleged cases of financial misappropriation in its electricity sector so as to save members from another round of financial hardship. The appeal was made in Abuja during the inauguration of a caretaker committee with terms of reference including interfacing with government agencies responsible for pension payment. Emmanuel Anyimero has the details.
The sector chapter of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners is being riddled with crisis, leading to the pulling out of some members from the NUP. Performing the oath of office for newly inaugurated committee, the leadership of NUP wants them to restructure the sector as the union awaits government intervention in the financial crisis rocking them.
We are delighted to reaffirm our unalloyed loyalty to the Nigerian Union of Pensioners National Headquarters.
On union matters, the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, during a visit to the Agriculture and Allied Employees Union of Nigeria, appealed to government to involve unions in agricultural programs since agriculture is central to the economic diversification of the current administration.
We have had very beautiful programs of agriculture, but most of them have either failed or they didn't go further because those programs have not been sustained. They have not been domesticated so that the workers in this industry can actually take ownership of some of those programs.
The visit of NLC president to affiliate union is to intervene in challenges confronting them as part of measures to boost productivity of workers for national development. In Abuja, Emmanuel Anyimero, NTA News.
An act to establish the Nigerian Peace Corps to empower, develop and provide gainful employment for the youths and other related matters may be put on hold due to grave areas observed in the two versions of the bill. Chairman Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, David Umaru, explained this at a meeting with the Office of the National Security Advisor and other security agencies. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports on these and other events of the committee.
According to the committee chairman on Tuesday, 2nd May 2017, during consideration of harmonized report, certain fundamental issues regarding the Nigerian Peace Corps bill emerged. These issues pertain to the manner of their operations, encounter with security agencies, and widespread allegation of fraud surrounding their activities with respect to employment. Committee Chairman David Umaru said the Senate had to step down consideration of the report and asked the Committee on Judiciary to look into the issues raised.
The idea is to make Nigerians have benefits of the existence of these organizations. Peace Corps, if it's eventually registered, it's supposed to serve the people. So the process of ensuring that what comes out is of benefit to the people.
The committee was given 2 weeks to report back to the Senate with its recommendation. In another development, the two-day public hearing on 8 bills targeted towards reposition in the maritime sector has ended with high expectations. Committee Chairman Patrick Asadu said the exercise is a major legislative push to enact laws that will provide legal framework for realizing multimodal transport policy of government.
All the stakeholders seem to realize the importance and the potentials in this sector, and then the challenges that are hampered and deprived Nigeria of much needed revenue. So the presentations were robust. You are also here. You heard from, and we took everybody who wanted to, who has something to say.
We are talking about the capital vessel fund now. Now, I think we should be concentrating more in areas where we can make quick wins.
As the two-day public hearing comes to an end, participants expect that the bills that are being considered during the hearing, when passed into law, would develop manpower, which will contribute significantly to the nation's gross domestic product. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Izumba, NTA News.
The 2017 African Digital TV Development Seminar has successfully ended in Beijing. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said, for this year's theme, to universalize digital TV and also enjoy smart life, to make an impact, Africans must start producing good conduct that appeals to a wider global audience. Juliet Aino reports that on this, and also what was echoed by the Ghanaian Minister of Communication.
Declared the most successful, most influential and best of all the seminars over the years, the 7th African Digital TV Development Seminar ended on a financial note. Representatives from China's top leading banks spent the best part of the closing ceremony explaining the little details necessary in financing projects in Africa.
This year, the 3 major pillars of digitalization were addressed. That's technology, content, and financing.
The 12-man expert panel took questions from African ministers and representatives, trying to clear up initial confusions and financial misunderstandings between both sides. In their vote of thanks to StarTimes President Bang Xinxin, several African ministers renewed their commitments to friendship with StarTimes and China. Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism Lai Mohammed said Nigeria will build digital content from cultural values.
I look at content from one area, we can actually start to colonize and dominate the outside world. Content is very important because you see, when you have powerful content that depict your nation positively, it changes the way your nation is viewed. It brings more respect to you. Our filmmakers must stop thinking in terms of just Nigeria. They should be thinking global.
If you look at the content on our televisions, and I'm happy this is NTA, we watch a lot of Nigerian movies in Ghana. In the same way, we can also develop even more content which other TV stations around the world can also enjoy and showcase our culture and the way we live and the things that we do. We have respect for our elders. We are trained and well brought up. We bring our children up well. And yet when you look at the content on our televisions and even on the internet, it's as if 90% is what we're taking from the West. How much of it is Africa contributing to the development of the world's culture? I think we can do more.
President Star Times Group Pang Xingxin, in his closing remarks, said Star Times will continue to prove itself as a reliable partner in the implementation of digital migration in Africa. From Beijing, China, Julieta Aino, NTA News.
And back home, the federal government is expanding strategies to hasten the process of repatriating looted funds stashed abroad, as well as other legal and administrative measures to strengthen the fight against corruption in Nigeria. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, stated this at the inauguration of the Southwest Zonal Office of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in Ibadan, Oyo State. Linda Okorie-Igwe monitored the event.
The Minister affirms that with the inauguration of the Southwest EFCC office, the Commission is taking the fight against corruption to the grassroots, as no part of the country will be spared. Malam Abubakar and the Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi enjoined the people to assist EFCC in reporting suspicious elements, taking advantage of whistleblowing policy.
The event of today is no doubt a remarkable step in furthering the efforts of President Muhammadu Buhari to ensure that we rid Nigeria of corruption and indeed take the necessary infrastructure of fighting corruption to the grassroots.
People in government are there in the service of humanity. To have someone like the President Buhari that we have today. This is one man. Whatever you may say about him, he is a man of sincerity. He's very sincere in dealing with us.
Other officials from federal, state, traditional institutions, as well as sister security agencies were conducted round the edifice. The Ibadan Zonal Office of the EFCC is to oversight the functions of the Commission in Ekiti, Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, and Oyo states. Linda Okorie-Igwe, NTA News.
We are not yet done on EFCC reports as we now take you to our Lagos Network Center where Demola is still bringing us EFCC working against corruption and also other stories from the Center of Excellence. It's over to you, Demola.
Good afternoon and a wet afternoon in Lagos, though. Welcome to Lagos. Nigerians must rise to the challenge of stemming the tide of corruption in order to put the nation on a path of social economic prosperity. This was a charge by the head Public Affairs EFCC Lagos Zone, Sami Ahmadin, as he led officers and men of the Commission on an anti-corruption walk in Lagos. Joy Ken Abokboya has the details.
Officers, men and staff of the Commission walked through major areas on the Lagos Island, bearing banners with various inscriptions. The message was clear: shun corruption. Head Public Affairs EFCC Lagos Zone highlighted the success recorded by the Commission so far. He urged parents, religious leaders, and educational institutions to make discipline their watchword and inculcate moral values in the younger generation.
This is part of such enlightenment, such education, to educate the public on the evils of corruption and the essence of shunning corruption in society.
We must all be united to kill corruption, to end corruption. It's not only by talking, we must walk the talk.
Officials of the EFCC say until doing the right thing becomes a lifestyle for Nigerians, the Commission will not relent in its fight against corruption. They also urge Nigerians to report anyone who indulges in criminal acts to the relevant authorities for investigation and prosecution.
The only way we can salvage our country is for us to fight corruption. There should be no alternative, no matter the misgivings some people may have about the current fight against corruption. There should be no confusion about the fact that corruption is a plague that has ravaged our country.
The anti-corruption work held simultaneously in 10 states across the country. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NTA News.
A special parliamentary session has been organized by the Lagos State House of Assembly to mark Lagos at 50. Dotun Oguyemi reports that the national leader of the All Progressive Congress and former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, used the occasion to advise against military action that can disrupt the democratic process.
Governor Akinwumi Ambode, in his address, commended the legislature for its proactive nature at coming up with people-oriented laws.
The sort of its chapter history, the first to the 8 assemblies of the Lagos State Assembly, have been the benchmark for assessing legislative business in governance in the Nigerian states.
Just a few years ago, we had a warning that some people were trying to entice the military out of the barracks. I said, don't try it.
The Speaker, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, said the celebrations should afford the ruling class an opportunity to plan effectively for the next century.
Lagos State has evolved as a state that set the pace for other states in the country, a feat that has extended to other parts of Africa.
In Lagos, Dotun Oguyemi, NTA News.
Former 5-time world heavyweight boxing champion Evander Holyfield has donated health equipment worth $3 million to the Lagos state government. The former heavyweight champion announced the donation when he paid a courtesy visit to the Lagos state governor, Akinwumi Ambode, at the Lagos State House, Ikeja. Nosa Osula reports.
Holyfield, who is billed to slug it out with former Lagos State Governor and national leader of All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at an exhibition boxing match, is in Lagos as part of activities marking the Golden Jubilee anniversary of the state and to also give back to the society through his foundation.
You can't be great in everything. So find one thing and be the very best.
The state's governor, Akinwumi Ambode, who described the visit of the boxing legend to Lagos as historic, said there was no better way to showcase sports as a catalyst for growth and development than the collaboration with such an icon as Holyfield.
We've always wanted to use sports as a way of driving our economy. And there's no way to showcase sports as a catalyst for economic growth than bringing somebody who is a champion, a revered person, and to be able to come and use his own God-given talent and resources to also promote sports clinic or sports promotion in this.
While commending the vision of the Evander Holyfield Foundation to nurture young stars and future boxers, as well as promote good health and well-being of the people, Governor Ambode pledged to partner with the foundation to ensure that the set objectives are achieved, especially with regards to the residents of the states. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
Well, that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Femi, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Ademola. The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Sahad Abubakar, has called on Muslims all over the country to be on the lookout for the new moon of Ramadan as from tomorrow, Friday. A statement from the Sultanate Council advises Muslims with useful information on the sighting of the moon to contact any of these numbers on the screen. Assistance and cooperation of traditional rulers and religious leaders, as well as members of the public, is key in tackling security challenges. Deputy Inspector General of Police Northwest Zone, Megeri Dikwa Abati, stated this at a stakeholder meeting on security in Kaduna. Tina Toro reports.
Megeri Dikwa met with traditional and religious leaders as well as other stakeholders in the security sector with a view to mapping out modalities on how best to tackle security challenges facing the state. The DIG noted that security is vital in achieving sustainable socio-economic growth and development and appealed for the cooperation of all.
We cannot do this job without the cooperation of the people we serve. So if we continue partnering with the police, we are going to see improved service delivery.
Stakeholders at the interactive forum identified inadequate manpower and facilities as challenges militating against efficient tackling of security issues in the state. While meeting with officers and men of Kaduna Police Command, he urged them to always put in their best and assured them of improved welfare, to which he visited the 400 mass housing unit at Hain Abuja, where he expressed satisfaction with the level of work done so far, adding that the houses will be given out to police personnel by next month. He proceeded to Zaria to visit the Emir of Zazzau, Al-Haji Shehu Idris. The Emir assured him of the Emirates' support. In Kaduna, Tina Turu, NTA News.
The National Coordinator, New Partnership for Africa Development, Nigeria, Gloria Kobundo, met with stakeholders in Kaduna with a view to partnering and also fast-tracking economic development. Austin Ayimbe reports on the concern of NEPAD and how the 3 tiers of government can collectively collaborate to develop the economy.
The New Partnership for African Development was an initiative of African leaders and a deliberate effort to fashion out programs that will overcome underdevelopment in the African continent. This is because many African countries are grappling with poverty, hunger, insurgency, and unemployment. The idea, therefore, is to ensure that governments invest in critical sectors of the economy, such as agriculture, to guarantee food security, infrastructure, gender issues to improve the standard of living of the people. The National Coordinator NEPAD Nigeria, Gloria Akobundu, says under the change agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari, emphasis on fighting corruption, revamping the ailing economy, and wealth creation, which NEPAD considers local government administration as a critical partner.
This is targeted at getting the youth, getting the women, and redirecting their thinking, repositioning them, realigning them into the good governance of His Excellency, the President Muhammadu Buhari.
She applauded Kaduna State government in the area of agriculture and infrastructural development, saying NEPAD is willing to help Nigerians with quality business concepts to produce goods of international standards. Kaduna State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Hafsat Baba, commended the initiative, saying the present administration of Governor Nasiru Ahmed El-Rufai is committed to developing the small and medium enterprises. At the end of the meeting, specific areas of collaboration shall be spelled out in clear terms. In Kaduna, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And you are still on NTA Nationwide. We now pause for some messages. Stay tuned.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Yes, it's happening again at NTA Arena. Come join us as we celebrate Children's Day in a grand style on Friday, 26th May, 2017.
Featuring dance, drama, musical talent display, choreography, cultural dance, catching the train, letter writing competition, master and miss offered, and more.
Wow, the forfeit is proudly supported by
proprietors, proprietresses of schools, parents. What are you waiting for?
Date Friday 26 May 2017. Venue NTA Arena Area 11 Garki Abuja. Gate fee 1,000 Naira only. Time 10 a.m. prompt.
For sponsorship details, please dial
I bought my tickets. I bought my tickets. What about you?
Children's Day Funfair with NTA Knowledge.
Come, let's celebrate children.
Admission forms for the 2017-2018 academic session of NTA Television College JAWS into its diploma programs are now on sale. The diploma programs are in film and TV production, broadcast journalism, and TV engineering technology. Applicants are required to have at least 5 credits, including English language and mathematics at SSC, NECO, or GCO levels in not more than 1 sitting. Application forms can be obtained from the TV College Refi JAWS or at any NTA zonal centers nationwide on payment of a non-refundable fee of 7,500 naira in bank draft in favor of NTA Television College. Completed application forms should be returned to the Office of the Academic Secretary, NTA Television College, or the Center of Purchase on or before 28th of July 2017. For further inquiries, please call 0806 980 9807 or 0703 660 7155. NTA Television College, training you to be the best you can be.
Hi, my name is Shego Arinde, and Nigeria is my country. A country of 180 million hard-working people. In more advanced countries like the UK, the US, Canada, lottery has produced billionaires in big lottery money. And several charities have gotten funding from lottery plays. If we all play lottery, we can together produce millionaires and billionaires in Nigeria. And that can be. With give and take, everyone who plays with little has equal opportunity of winning big money. Give and take. Win big, live your dreams.
TV Guide magazine is out with fabulous Fab Funke Akindele Bello, aka Jennifer, adorning the cover. She opens a secret not known even to her family. Find out the secret. NTA turns 40 this year. The challenges, the emerging trends in broadcasting, and the way forward. Weekend Dealer 2. Meet the team behind the biggest deal on NTA. Is food still the way to a man's heart? If not, what else? This edition is hot and juicy. Meet your star faces on screen. Entertainment, fashion, young minds, social media, and great personality.
This is idiosyncratic and heterodox.
Yes, Professor John Bull is on the radar. Find out what makes this program the rave of the moment on NTA Network, and for the Prof,
over and out.
TV Guide. Ask your vendors or book your copy at every NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, still your indispensable companion.
You're still on NTA Nationwide, and revive the teaching profession and make it attractive to the best and the brightest. That is the mandate of members of the governing councils of the 21 federal colleges of education. Frank Auzamola reports that Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony, reconstituted the councils.
Colleges of education are believed to be the most important institutions in the sector because they produce teachers for the basic level. But over the years, there has been a growing apathy to teacher training institutions, which has made them look inferior. This trend, as the minister puts it, must change.
Teaching will cease, in fact, has ceased to be an all-commerce profession in Nigeria. We must start doing it right. We can no longer toy with the core essence of our developmental effort. The teacher is central.
Part of the responsibilities of members of the governing councils is to help raise the standard of academic, ethical, and moral conduct on campuses.
With the trend of the country today, we have a lot of work to do. We have to sanitize the schools. We have to be very proactive.
Colleges of education, certainly they need to be restructured. There needs to be some incentive and motivations. Quality of teachers is going down.
A retreat was also organized to familiarize members with the functions of the institutions for the smooth running and management of the colleges of education. Franca Uzoma Olua, NTA News.
Still on education, concerned by the declining reading culture and also the failure to utilize library facilities for either pleasure or profit. The National Library of Nigeria says it is stepping up efforts to stimulate and promote vocational and purposeful reading culture in the country. National Librarian and Chief Executive Officer of the National Library of Nigeria, Professor Laure Aina, stated this at a media briefing in Abuja. Professor Aina says some of the factors that militate against the reading culture includes lack of libraries in most primary and secondary schools, failure of parents to inculcate the reading culture, and that most Nigerians only read when they have assignments.
The slogan for the campaign is Catch Them Young. Read a book to your baby now. The objectives are to encourage reading amongst Nigerians, promote the increase of reading materials, identify obstacles which inhibit reading and ways of eliminating them.
Abdullah Musa Suleja reports that the organization says from the 1st of June, 23 branches of the organizations in the states will begin a 3-month activities as part of its expanded scope of campaign to promote reading culture. The Defense Headquarters says it will partner the Alumni Association of National Institute on Policy Direction of the Country Security Mechanism through the proposed policy summit of the association. This was echoed when the executive of the alumni visited the Chief of Defense Staff at the Defense Headquarters. Okun Ekpayan reports.
Chief of Defense Policy and Plans, Defense Headquarters, Air Vice Marshal Bashir Saidu, who received the new executive of the Alumni Association of the National Institute, AANI, on behalf of the Chief of Defense Staff, promised to assist the association for the overall development of the country, especially as it concerns defense.
The CDS will make whatever you require available to ensure that the conference is a great success.
We intend organizing a policy summit, which we believe the defense policy is one of the major to be discussed there, where we would love to partner with your institution.
At the Department of State Security, DSS, the Director General, Lawal Daura, was briefed by the association on plans to organize a policy summit in collaboration with the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS. The Department of State Security was also commended for its fight against insurgency, militancy, and other security breaches. The clarion call by the Alumni Association of the National Institute is that of synergy, a synergy that will consolidate on the policy direction of government in terms of security. In Abuja, Oku Ekpayong, NTA News.
Over 400 illegal immigrants in Nigeria on Immigration's Net. Let's join our Benin Network Center for details of these and other top stories. Ogochukuka is over to you.
Femi, very good evening. Welcome to Benin. The Nigerian Immigration Service, Edo State Command, has screened 400 illegal aliens for onward deportation to their countries. Muhammad Abdul Kadri reports.
Luck ran against them during the mop-up operation by the Nigeria Immigration Service personnel across the 18 local government areas of the state. Screening and documentation revealed their true identity.
Many of them, they're just here, no papers. So if they commit crime, how do you trace them? So that's why we've gone around, we've mobbed them. There are over 400 now.
One of the aliens claimed to be from Niger in Borno State, while his friend brandished fake voter card as national identity card to prove his nationality. Which country are you from?
Kebbi State.
Kebbi State?
Yes.
You are a Nigerian?
No.
The illegal aliens contravened ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement, Phase 1, and Phase 2 for right of residence as well as right of establishment contained in Phase 3. By these mop-up operations, the Nigerian Immigration Service Edo State Command is acting within its mandate to fish out and flush out illegal aliens from neighboring countries, whose mission may be deemed counterproductive to peace and security in Nigeria. In Benin, Edo State, Muhammad Abdelkader, NTA News.
Edo State government will by August this year adopt the National Homegrown School Feeding Program initiated by the federal government. Governor Godwin Obaseki disclosed this while declaring open a two-day stakeholders workshop on National Homegrown School Feeding Program in Benin. Goodluck Enaini reports.
Obaseki said the introduction of the program by the Buhari-led administration will put in place an egalitarian society where every child, irrespective of his background, is taken care of. He assured that the state government will vigorously pursue the policy and ensure its success by developing a model that will be suitable for the states.
We also realize that the federal government program is only from primary 1 to 3. We will do our own calculation and make sure that we put money for primaries 4 to 6.
Leader of the national team, Dr. Dotun Adebayo, disclosed that over 1 million school children are already benefiting from the program across the country.
What this program does is create a ready market, for our agricultural production within the state.
Outside the workshop venue, Governor Obaseki interacted with some pupils at the Magro College on the school feeding program.
Do you eat when you're in school now?
No.
They don't give you food?
No.
From August, giving you food every day. Okay?
Oh, that is the governor, thank you.
The National Homegrown School Feeding Program is already operational in 7 states of the Federation. In Benin, I am Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
Commuters and civil servants in Ekiti State are facing hard times following a lingering face-off between the state government and petroleum marketers in the state. Kola Adebubuyi reports that some filling stations have been attacked with commercial activities crippled.
Few days, scarcity of fuel emanating from the dispute between the petroleum marketers and Ekiti State government has been the order of the day, thereby posing threats to socio-economic activities of people of the state. This was as a result of state government's reintroduction of new taxes and recertification of license, which marketers described as outrageous and unfriendly to business, hence the demolition of filling stations by the state government.
There are laws in this state, and the laws must be obeyed. As many filling stations that violate our orders will be demolished.
The latest development were the attacks on some filling stations in Adogiti by some suspected hoodlums, damaging property worth millions of naira.
All the pumps in my station have been damaged. Even the building were destroyed.
We notified of the attack of some filling stations, and we quickly mobilized our patrol teams so that we bring normalcy back.
Motorists and residents who described the fuel scarcity as unfortunate lamented its effects on social, commercial activities and standard of living, while advocating urgent intervention of critical stakeholders to resolve the impasse in the interest of the masses. NTA News observed that almost all filling stations in the metropolis were under lock and key as at the time of this report, while users of petroleum products have resorted to patronizing black markets in Ado-Ekiti. Kola Adebobuyi, NTA News.
Femi is back to you for the continuation of the news.
Thank you, Oga Chukuka. All is now set for the cleaning up of the oil spillage in Ogoni land following the launch of the Ogoni Report Cleanup and Restoration Program in June 2016. Minister of State for Environment Ibrahim Usman Jibril disclosed this when he featured on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria. Joy Uzo has more.
Nigeria, like other countries in the world, has its share of environmental degradation, ranging from oil spillage in the Niger Delta region, resulting from exploration activities of oil companies, to erosion, desertification and effects of climate change across the states. Fielding questions from the anchors of Good Morning Nigeria, Minister of State for Environment Ibrahim Usman Jibril extolled policies and programs of government aimed at tackling these peculiar environmental challenges. On the current level of implementing the United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP report on Ogoni land cleanup, the minister says close to 1 year after the launch of the report, all is set to commence the cleaning as strategic plans have been carefully set in motion to ensure long-lasting exercise.
Like I always say, when people agitate that we are a bit slow, I always respond that we are not in a hurry to fail. We want to make sure that we must put every structure in place because this is going to be a highly technical operation. When you see an area that is severely polluted, the aquatic life is destroyed, even the groundwater at the level of sometimes up to 200 meters, I've seen water from the borehole that smells of benzene. This is not hygienic for human beings to take. So you must have to prepare fully so that by the time you hit the road, there will be no turning back and you just have to keep moving because you have to look at the lifestyle of these people, how they have suffered severe degradation and deprivation. So you need to do justice to them, and to do that you have to prepare yourself so that you don't get distracted at any point in time.
Highlighting the challenges in tackling the environmental challenges in different parts of the country, the minister urged Nigerians to adopt a friendlier attitude towards the environment for the benefit of all. In Abuja, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Federal government says it will step up action on promotion of works of young talented artists across tertiary institutions in the country through art exhibitions. Oinaya Kaluoka reports.
The art fair organized by the National Gallery of Art is aimed at identifying and marketing the artistic and creativity that abounds in the country.
This exhibition has been packaged as a platform to showcase the Zaria Art School, and here we have artwork that dates back to 1963, like this particular art titled Market Scene. It dates back to 1969 and it says to worth about 5 million naira.
You can't find it anywhere else. I'm sure even the artist, if he has a way to rebuy it from us, he would. And that's the beauty about art. Like I said, the older, the sweeter.
Director General, National Gallery of Art, Abdullahi Muku said, in addition to promoting creativity, the engagement will boost local content.
Exposing not just Nigerian works of art, but creating art appreciation and opening up art market platform for artists.
It can increase national investments.
The National Gallery of Art had earlier held a fair exhibiting works from the University of Nigeria and Nsukka. The Art Fair Northwest Zone has the theme, Art and Design as Foundation for Ideas and Knowledge. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
In keeping with the federal government agenda, the Bayelsa State Employment and Expenditure for Results C4 project is changing lives of ordinary people. Residents testified when journalists joined the project coordinator on an inspection of completed and ongoing projects. Samuel Numongi reports.
State Employment and Expenditure for Results C4 Bayelsa is mandated to reduce the unemployment level in the state with support from the European Union and international donor agencies. It is for this reason over 3,000 youths are presently engaged in various infrastructural projects and many others in technical and craft centers across the state acquiring skills to make them self-reliant. Meanwhile, over 100 concrete roads are either under construction or completed in various communities of Bayelsa State. Others are health centers, market buildings, and community town halls, as well as corpers lodges renovated or built. Some Bayelsa residents commend C4 for choosing areas that looked abandoned, thereby making everyone have a feel of government close to them.
It's a very good something that we want in the state for state development. So the work is standardizing Bayelsa State among the other states.
Project Coordinator, State Employment and Expenditure for Results C4 Bayelsa, Mr. Ayaz Adoku sheds light on the activities of C4.
You have gone around and you have seen for yourself what the Bayelsa State government is doing through the C4 project in partnership with the World Bank and the European Union. You have seen the several road constructions, and you also know that, as we have already briefed you, that in each of those road constructions is attached employment. So in some of those roads, you see, we went like that to see 40 persons were employed, including one graduate. So if you now interpolate and go around all those projects, you will discover that we have employed over 3,000 youths and over 75 graduates.
Number of engaged youths is however expected to increase to 5,000 by July 2017 and more projects to commence across the state. In Yanagua, Samuel Nomonengi, NTA News.
Political reports now. Persons with disabilities in Nigeria are calling for the breaking of all barriers retarding their political participation, just as they commended the ruling party APC for opening up more political space for them. This was the thrust of a discussion at a leadership and organization workshop for persons with disabilities put together by the APC, USAID, and also the International Republican Institute. Political correspondent Abdullah Garba Binikudu has more.
The political process is very critical.
In line with the United Nations Convention 2006 on the rights of persons with disabilities and their numerical strengths, this set of people deserve necessary space to participate in governance. It is in furtherance of this workshop is to build their capacity in political participation and decision-making. The APC has in its constitution created Office of a Leader for Persons with Disabilities, which they say is commendable, but they are asking for more.
To be a councillor, to be a chairman of local government, to be a minister, to be a commissioner, it is our right, and it's happening all over the world.
To make sure that persons with disability emerge as candidates.
Being the first party to recognize persons with disability in its constitution, and also the president of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari, is the best president.
For the facilitators, the workshop will build their capacity and chart the way forward in breaking the barriers in their political career. It is estimated that there are more than 25 million Nigerians living with disabilities. In Abuja, Abdullahi Gerba Brunonkudu, NTA News.
European Union is committed to supporting Nigeria to institute strategy towards fighting migration, human rights abuse, and terrorism. The President, European Union Parliament, Gianni Pittella, said this in Abuja while briefing newsmen on the aim of the organization's three-day visit to Nigeria. Basi Ita Ikbang has more.
The EU Parliament is in Nigeria to support Nigerian government in education trust fund, humanitarian aid, development, and to encourage internal and external investment to create jobs and discourage migration.
And we will contribute to a change of this perspective, a real reinforcement of the economy, a real education, in particular for young people.
And to create job here, and for many people we come here in Nigeria to reinforce all the program for integration here in Nigeria.
On the assessment of humanitarian assistance in the Northeast, the head of EU delegation to Nigeria noted that EU is still concerned about the global response of humanitarian agencies in the country, especially Northeast. He noted that a lot still needs to be done in areas of health, food and security.
I can confirm that we still remain very concerned about the capacity, the global response of the humanitarian agencies.
They stress the need to improve legal framework for illegal migrants to return to Nigeria. In Abuja, Basi Taipang, NTA News.
In another development, Nigeria will continue to support South Sudan as the country grapples with several post-independence challenges. This position was made known when the Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema played host to his counterpart from South Sudan. Victor Azu reports.
The broader role played by Nigeria in many African countries is not in doubt. It is in recognition of this leadership that the South Sudan Foreign Affairs Minister, then Alo Kuol, visited his Nigeria counterpart to canvass the nation's military intervention towards redressing the security challenge in their country. He further solicited investment in several areas of their economy.
We need Nigerian expertise, we need Nigerian oil companies to go and invest in South Sudan. And the issue of peace, we are We have an internal war, and we want also Nigeria to help us.
Not shying away from this role, Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama indicated that Nigeria will continue to live up to the leadership expected of her.
They're going through a very difficult time at the moment, and they're going to send us some proposals about areas of cooperation, and hopefully we will be able to sign a cooperation agreement with them.
The minister earlier received the Foreign Relations Professionals of Nigeria, led by Ambassador Gani Lawal. They visited to solicit support for their formal inauguration, which comes up in March 2018. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
And from Abuja, we move to Sokoto, where rice farmers in Kebbi kicked against planned importation of rice to Nigeria. Asmao is ready to bring us details of these and other stories from our Sokoto studio.
Thank you, Femi. Good afternoon and welcome to Sokoto. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, who is also the chairman, Presidential Task Force Committee on Rice and Wheat Production, has expressed displeasure over the planned importation of rice into Nigeria. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that the governor expressed this when he received members of Rice Farmers Association who marched to Government House to protest against the planned importation of rice into the country.
Prices of commodities, especially foodstuff, increases during Ramadan due to higher demand. Currently at Sokoto markets, prices of some foodstuff have slightly increased ahead of this year's Ramadan. Prices of vegetables like tomato, pepper and onion have increased due to the scarcity of the products at the markets.
What I was expecting is to get something cheaper, but I get some like 3 times more than my expectation.
No, it's cost than previous days.
However, price of locally made rice has decreased as a bag of rice that is sold at 35,000 naira before is now sold at 30,000 naira. A bag of imported rice is
I apologize for that. The report taken is not for the news trailed so far. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, who is also the chairman, Presidential Task Force Committee on Rice and Wheat Production, has expressed displeasure over the planned importation of rice into Nigeria. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that the governor expressed this when he received members of Rice Farmers Association who marched to Government House to protest against the planned importation of rice into the country.
The protesters who carried placards with inscriptions President Muhammadu Buhari and acting President Osibanjo said Nigerian rice farmers marched to Government House Birnin Kebbi and were received by Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu and other top government officials. The chairman of the State Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, Muhammadu Sahabi Augi, who presented a letter to the governor for onward solution to the acting president, said importation of rice to the country will cripple federal government policy to revive agriculture and destroy the nation's quest for self-reliance in rice production. As the chairman, Presidential Task Force on Rice and Wheat Production, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu said he would use his influence to reverse the proposed importation of rice because Nigeria has the capacity and ability to feed the nation with domestic rice production. Governor Bagudu similarly said the country will be at loss if foreign rice is allowed to be imported, pointing out that many will be unemployed and local rice production will collapse. The governor assured to deliver the farmers' message to the authorities concerned. Members of the rice farmers also carried out similar protests to the Kebbi State House of Assembly and were received by the Speaker. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And as how far we can go from our Sokoto Network Center, Ethiopian politician jailed over inciting Facebook comments. Let's join Talatu Ezeriki for details.
An Ethiopian opposition politician has been sentenced to more than 6 years imprisonment for encouraging terrorism. Comments on Facebook. The court, however, accepted his argument for a minimum sentence. Meanwhile, Amnesty International, earlier in the month, described the guilty verdict as a miscarriage of justice. From Belgium, U.S. President Donald Trump in Brussels for NATO talks. Security issues topped the agenda of the meeting, believed to send a strong political message of NATO's commitment to the fight against terrorism and also improve coordination within the coalition. Also, a minute's silence held for Manchester attack victims as Queen Elizabeth visited injured children. The police investigating the incident have stopped sharing information with US after leaks to the media, which authorities frown at. And a massive landslide hit a California community that relies heavily on an iconic coastal highway and tourism for livelihood. That is along Global Tidbits. Talat Ezarike, NTA News.
Amanzi Marcos is also standing by for sports.